Welcome back to the channel. There is a topic that I went on before and I actually quoted it as the Great Sell. I believe the times that we're in now is predominantly the Great Sell. There was the Great Depression in the past and I believe that we're in that. So what I want to say to you now is conserve your energy. There is a lot of selling going on. There's a lot of people that are desperate in these times, and the desperate ones doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad people. It just means that the bad people that are around are more desperate now. When that happens, there's a lot of selling going on. Selling of someone's self, selling of someone's anything. It's just made as it's a technique to gain, a sense of power, survival, more so survival these days. But ones that are like okay people, they have a hard time selling. They have a hard time lying to someone when they want something, But the bad people, the ones that are with bad intentions is what I'm referring to. They sell and they lie effortlessly, usually. So we are in times of the Great Sell. You need to be able to protect man or woman. You need to be able to protect your energy, your mind, your lifestyle, your dreams, your feelings. Because we are in those times. We are in times where we have less and less flexibility as time goes on, especially now. And in the very near future, most of us will lack a lot of flexibility of life. To choose when to go on holiday, to choose who to date, to choose to be somewhere in a specific job, in a specific environment, in a specific group. The selections are day by day becoming less and less. You can see it on the socials, you can see it on the apps on your phone. Everything is very, what's the word for it? Like conjoined, very suppressed, very, black and white. And it's catered to addiction rather than it existing. In the past, it used to exist, social media used to exist and you would select what you want to put. If you remember the old versions of Instagram, if you remember the old versions of YouTube, it was way more personal. It was personalized. Now it's about education. Now it's about entertainment. And this is making you day by day just feeling a range of emotions, but the emotion that is most predominant is tiredness, is being fed up, And I feel that way. We have different ways of coping with it. Maybe we go on a walk, maybe we take, I don't know, a friend out and we just talk, touch grass. Or maybe we game, maybe we watch movies, maybe we do house chores, whatnot, and listen to a podcast in the background. We are trying to be okay in this kind of addictive environment that is mostly online and the social media. You see a lot of gambling sites, a lot of betting shops, especially here in the UK, that are dominating the market even now in the crisis, because addiction pays. Addiction still makes the money. There is a lot of degeneracy at the moment in the world. And I'm not going to go into reasons why. I'm not sure. I don't know what exactly reasons why is. But that's besides the point. You need to be aware that you have control in what you want to do and your energy. When I was living in my own home, I used to think that I'm trapped. I used to think that the life that is given to me is permanent. You know, I'm gonna have to be in that kind of role. I've got very limited money. I've got very limited, um, experience in being an adult. How am I gonna do it? How am I gonna do it in such short notice? You can do it. You have to trust yourself. You have to know your abilities and your weaknesses. You need to know what is your strengths so you can utilize it as best as possible and take it step by step. You need to be your best friend. You need to. It's not like a motivation or anything. You need to be your best friend. And to be that way, you need to conserve your energy. It's the great sell. It is to sell is to survive at the moment. And it's going to be like that for the next 5-10 years if things don't change. It's quite cold. It's quite ruthless. There is a lot of carelessness. There is a lot of coldness that is spewing out at the moment. In the past, like I'm talking 10 years ago, it was hidden, the coldness, of many people. Now it's much more in the open. Because when people struggle, the ones that are actually toxic on the inside, when they struggle, they bring it on the outside because they're like, well, I got nothing to lose, I need to survive. So I'm going to bring it out on the outside. I don't care if I'm seen as a bad person. I don't care if this is that way, this person's unhappy. I don't care. So you see a lot of ruthless moves. And you need to be resilient, you need to be tough, and to be that way, again, you need to conserve your energy. It's disappointing, but I guess because I don't have much experience, obviously I'm a 25-year-old, it means that maybe civilization is kind of normal for this stage to happen. I don't know. I can't speak like I do in history. Alright, I'm going to close this video before I start coughing and going crazy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next.